In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. All praise is due to Allah the Almighty, the Lord of the worlds. May Allah's peace, mercy and blessings be upon His final and last messenger, Muhammad. And may Allah's peace, mercy and blessings be upon each and every one of you, dear viewers, watching this new episode of your program, The Revelation. Certain situations take place on our day-to-day life. For instance, you would buy a new cell phone, then it would just fall on the floor and it gets broken down, or it does not work properly. Another time, with your new car, you would just get hit by an accident. On another occasion, you would take a vacation or some days off in order to have a pleasant number of days. Yet some problems occur, and as a result of all of this, you wish you would never, or you would not even have thought about taking the initial steps in order to do or to have the thing done, or even both. And in many cases, and we witness this and we experience this in many occasions, you get to see the blame being put on hasad, or if you'd like to translate it as an evil eye. So they start to blame all of this and every sad or every unpleasant incident on hasad. Okay, broadly speaking, yes, there is something called hasad. Yet, and this is where we need to stop and to pause and to reflect in order to think beyond what we normally think about. And that's, there are two kinds, or there are two types of hasad. One that which comes from the outside, one that takes place as a result of an outside reason or factor. And this is the one that you would usually expect to be the reason for losing some blessings or benefits, or losing some bounties from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the second type occurs as a result of the person himself or herself. Yes, hasad can be done as a result of the person himself or herself. And we read this in the Quran in chapter Al-Kahf. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَوْلَا إِذْ دَخَلْتَ جَنَّتَكَ قُلْتَ مَا شَاءَ اللَّهُ لَا قُوَّةَ إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ
ولولا إذ دخلت جنتك قلت ما شاء الله لا قوة إلا بالله.
In the name of Allah, the Merciful, the Compassionate. And when you entered your garden, you should have said, it is as God has pleased. There is no power except God.
So we understand from this verse that not to say Ma sha Allah la quwwata illa billah when the person sees their own belongings or their own positions or their own bounties and blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this could be a reason for losing and for missing some of the blessings and the bounties that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has provided them with.
ولولا إذ دخلت جنتك قلت ما شاء الله لا قوة إلا بالله.
In the name of Allah, the Merciful, the Compassionate. And when you entered your garden, you should have said, it is as God has pleased. There is no power except God.
And here there is a very important saying that we need to consider by the Muslim scholars. They said that النعم المحسودة إنما زالت لزوال شكرها ولو كان هناك شكر لدامت بل وزادت. The Muslim scholar said a very important thing that we need to understand, especially when it comes to hasad. Because I get this question a lot, especially from younger people. They usually are very afraid and they are very worried about this idea of hasad. So this is why it's very significant and it is very eye-opening to consider this very important saying by the Muslim scholars. They said here the fact. They said that these blessings or these bounties which were lost or got lost as a result of hasad, actually this happened to be the case with them and they became lost or missed due to the fact that the shukr or thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for having them also was missing. And as a result of missing shukr and not doing or showing thanks and shukr and gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this resulted in these blessings or these bounties being lost. Yet, if the person were to be thankful and to do shukr and to show gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they would not have vanished or they would not have been removed. Rather, they would have increased and multiplied. And we understand this from the noble Quranic verse in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَإِذْ تَأَذَّنَ رَبُّكُمْ لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ.
وَإِذْ تَأَذَّنَ رَبُّكُمْ لَئِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ وَلَئِن كَفَرْتُمْ إِنَّ عَذَابِي لَشَدِيدٌ.
In the name of Allah, the Merciful, the Compassionate. And when your Lord warned, if you are grateful, I shall increase my favors upon you. But if you are ungrateful, my chastisement is severe indeed.
So we understand from this verse, my dear viewers, that doing shukr or showing shukr and gratitude and being thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the reason to protect and to maintain and to keep the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the bounties that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is showering us with. So the question now that I'm sure is on the minds of all of you is, how can we do shukr? How is it possible and how can we ourselves be amongst those who show gratitude and be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in order to fulfill the requirement here in this verse, which is to do shukr or to be grateful and show gratitude and be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And here I need you to listen attentively to what I'm going to say. The Muslim scholars, as a matter of fact, they said there are three important pillars for shukr to be there. The first of these pillars is the following. It is al-i'tirafu bin-ni'mah. It is to acknowledge and to be aware of the ni'mah or the blessing or the bounty that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us with. Because as a matter of fact, we have a multitude of blessings and we have a multitude of bounties showered upon us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yet we tend to forget this and we tend to take them for granted and we turn a blind eye to all of these blessings and all of these bounties from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the first thing that we need to consider seriously is to recognize and to acknowledge the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us out of His mercy and out of His generosity by all of them. And we have nothing that we really did in order to earn them, yet they are primarily and essentially and basically from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
أول قبل الوجود آخر بعد الخلود مطلق عن الحدود واجب له السجود.
And the reason why we tend to be forgetful of admitting and acknowledging these blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because we never think of sitting down and trying to count these favors from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is what we need to ask ourselves. Did I ever thought, or did it ever occur to my mind to bring a paper and a pen or a pencil, and or to bring my notebook and start to count and to write down one by one all the blessings and all the favors of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Of course, we would not be able to do this, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clearly tells us in the noble Quran, وَإِن تَعُدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ لَا تُحْصُوهَا. And still, even if we think of trying to appreciate and to trying to comprehend the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to make it easier for you, all blessings can be put under two great or big categories of blessings. The first of them is as-sahha, which means as-salama, which means in English well-being. And that includes all types of safety of problems, safety of depression, all types of safety. And the second category is al-faragh, that here refers to having time. And here it refers to the time that we have, our free time, our lifetime. All of this is a very important thing. And yet, no matter how hard we try to count these blessings, we would not be able to. This, my dear viewers, was number one, which was to acknowledge the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number two, as the Muslim scholars have put it, is نسبة النعمة إلى المنعم, and that's to attribute the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the providers of these blessings, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So to associate them and to attribute these blessings and these bounties to their provider, and that's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the creator of everything and the one and only. Because if you think that it is because of you, it is because you are smart, it is because you are skillful, this is the beginning of the countdown to losing these blessings. That's it for today's episode. I leave you in the care of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, wishing you all the best. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.